Thank you for joining. Hi, Lee. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys are doing good today. Hello. How are you guys doing? So we're gonna say hi to Josue. He's gonna be going live with us. Hi, Josue.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's nice day outside and it's a Monday, so
It
nothing gets
is.
better than that.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday to you as well.
Yeah. Um, so do you want to wait a little longer to see if more people get on here?
Yeah, we can do that. We can
Okay.
wait a little bit longer. No
Okay.
worries.
We'll just wait a little bit longer and try to see if we get more people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How's your evening going?
It's going good. I was doing some reading, before, so just kind of doing that, and then after this, probably gonna go out to Westcliff and stuff. So pretty fun.
Well, that's cool. That's
Yeah. What
cool.
about yourself?
um, it's going pretty good. I actually took some time today to try to make some like a new meal. I try to make chicken noodle soup, and I've never
Ooh,
made chicken noodle soup, so it was pretty cool.
nice, nice. That's good. It's always good to try. Well, try new foods and make new foods.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Should we get started?
Yeah, we can definitely get started.
Okay. Okay. So, for all of us that you know, or let me repeat this again. Sorry. For the people that don't know who you are and what you do, I am here to to announce that. So you are Josue and you work with the Second Harvest Food Bank, and you're here to give us more information on, resources that we can access during this time. So let's just go ahead and get started. So can you tell us about the Second Harvest Food Bank? And yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, Second Harvest Food Bank, is, it says it in the title. We're the second food bank in the nation, and we're the first food bank here in California.
Hmm.
So we're coming up our 50 years mark pretty soon in 2020. So, we're still fairly young, but we're, doing a lot of good work and a lot of good stuff that, the food bank's been doing for the community.
Hmm. Okay. So what is your position there right now, currently at the Second Harvest Food Bank?
Yeah. So my current position is, I'm the nutrition programs director, and so basically what I do is, I oversee the 65 distribution sites that we have, or well, that we sort of had before this whole COVID thing, and just basically making sure that the families that are in the community are getting fed, and that we're reaching a lot of the populations and a lot of the places that families would otherwise um, need in the different areas in the county.
Hmm. Okay, that's great. And what does your average day look like there for you?
Yeah, so, well, the average day for me, it varies. So sometimes, what we'll be doing is that, I come into the office and, check in with my team, making sure that, everybody's doing good, everybody's having a good morning. Then we kind of talk about some of the sites. So, each day is very different. So there are some days that we'll have back-to-back sites. And so we'll literally go from one site to another, and then we'll go to a different site, and then just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
um, the day will just kind of end at one of the sites. There are other days when we have, maybe one or two sites. So we get some time to go back into the office and kind of, debrief about how this site went, kind of, debrief about kind of what we can improve for the sites. Right now, due to COVID, it's been pretty intense because we've been going to a lot of the sites, but at the same time, it's kind of like we've been working with a lot of community partners and school districts to kind of get those different populations fed as well.
Mhm. Okay. Wow. So that's really cool that your job doesn't consist of the same thing every single day. That it has that flexibility that you know it might be good at times, and it might be kind of negative at times, but in like in my opinion, I think that's good that every day, like, you do something different. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely keeps
Mhm.
you on your toes.
Yeah, I bet. So the next question that I have for you is, people have been receiving food from the Second Harvest Food Bank at the fairgrounds. I recently heard that this is shifting to Santa Cruz every other Friday. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that came up, with a lot of community partners here in Santa Cruz, especially in the Beach Flats area, not being able to have transportation, not being able to kind of travel, over to the, fairgrounds down in Watsonville. And
Hmm.
so, kind of what we did was that, in order to bridge that gap and in order to kind of make things work for both South County and North County,
Hmm.
we said, hey, let's have a distribution over at the Beach Boardwalk parking lot, which is actually going to take place this Friday. So if you're in Santa Cruz, definitely come out
Yeah.
to the boardwalk this Friday over parking lot closest to the river. We'll be there, and we'll be distributing food. And the unique thing about the Santa Cruz Boardwalk distribution is that we actually have a walk online, and so that walk online allows people from the community that don't have vehicles, um, people who otherwise would, need to drive just from the beach flats area to the boardwalk to just kind of walk there, and enjoy some fresh air and then get some produce and get some food. So that's one of the biggest things that we've also been able to do here with having that Santa Cruz, beach boardwalk parking
Okay.
lot, distribution there. And so starting this month, you're right. We are going to be alternating. So this past Friday we had it at the fairgrounds. This Friday
Hmm.
we'll have it at the boardwalk. Next Friday we'll have it at the fairgrounds, and then the following Friday after that we'll have it at the
Okay.
boardwalk again.
Okay. So it's like a one turn here, one turn, like just shifting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's good. That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And sorry, just give me a minute.
That's okay.
What other Second Harvest Food Bank sites are there in Watsonville, and where can people find this information?
Yeah. So we, like I said, we have about 65, 85 distribution sites that we have a month. Sadly, due to all the stuff that's been going on, we had to close some of them, and because of that, we've had to also kind of take down where we usually post it, which is online.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're suggesting is that people call the hotline, the
Mm-hmm.
community hotline, and you can call that 831-662-0991, and that number will give you some of the sites that are closest to your house, or they'll redirect you to a Friday distribution site. And the reason why you might get redirected to that Friday distribution site is just because we've been putting a lot of effort and a lot of work into those Friday sites. So, we're trying to get as many people as we can to go to those sites, so that way, we can control, the amount of people that are showing up to some of the sites, and at the same time, so that we're able to kind of just be able to service them at one place versus the multiple sites, because as there are some policies through the city and through the state that don't allow a lot of large congregations and large people to get together. So we're able to kind of bypass this by having these distributions and
Mm-hmm.
being able to just kind of have like this drive through.
Yeah.
So any questions that you have, or folks that are, feeling food insecure, definitely call our hotline or visit our Facebook page as well. Our Facebook page usually has, up to date distributions on where they can find stuff on Fridays. or our
Okay.
website.
Okay. Sounds good. So, does the number that we have up here, does it look correct?
Yes, it looks correct. Six six
Okay.
two zero nine nine one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So shout out to Cervantes Fine Arts for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. So moving on to the next question that we have is, what paperwork do you need to access the food?
So you literally don't need any paperwork if you're going to some of our sites. The information that we basically ask is that we ask, that you provide us with your name, first name, last name, address, zip code, number of people in your household, and if it's your first time getting, USDA bags, which is a white bag that has dry goods, and if it's the first time of the month that you're getting it. If you go to the Friday distributions, we do ask that you do be, Santa Cruz resident. And what we mean by Santa Cruz resident is that, you have a zip code that's here in the Santa Cruz county. Because unfortunately, we are limited to, uh, we are trying to limit our efforts to this county onto their counties.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Salinas zip code, or if you have.
Okay. Okay. So I think that you can try to say like the misconception that people have sometimes goes in my case too is that people think that what is that question is if people live in Pajaro and Los Lomas, can they still go to the fairgrounds to receive the food on the Fridays when it's here in the fairgrounds in Watsonville?
Yeah, they definitely can. And the reason why is because they have a 95076 zip code.
Okay.
And because they have that zip code, they still qualify, to be part of the Santa Cruz County. And so, we will definitely serve them, and they'll definitely be able to, come. The way that, we like to also tell people is whatever site is closest to your home is the one that you should be going to, because it's definitely going to save you on gas. It's definitely going to be able to save you on the dry, on having to locate new areas and stuff. So, if you're in Las Lomas and if the fairgrounds is the closest to you, then by all means, definitely come to the fairgrounds. But if you're, say, for example, in Seaside or in Marina, then obviously it's a drive. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, check out that food bank, the Monterey County Food Bank, and the other food banks that are closest to you, and check out what distribution sites they have and when those are happening.
Okay. Okay. Good. So that's good that for all the people that were wondering that, like in my case, that's really good to know. So thank you for
Mm-hmm.
that. So another question is, if a person is receiving cow fresh, can they still receive food?
Yeah, so they can definitely, get CalFresh and still get food. And, actually, I'm wearing my CalFresh shirt right now.
Yay!
um, and so, with that, if they call that number, if they call that 1-800, sorry, 1-800, haha, that 831 6620991, number, and they are also automatically pre-screened for CalFresh.
Oh,
And so, if you're calling in, asking about food and stuff, you'll also probably be asked if you've gotten CalFresh, and a lot of people usually say, "Oh, I didn't qualify for CalFresh," so I'm not even going to bother. And right now, due to the circumstances that are happening, you might qualify for CalFresh. So, I wouldn't say, just because you didn't qualify last time, you're not going to qualify this time. Times change and
mhm.
policies are always changing. So whenever you're in doubt, definitely feel free, reach out, call us. You'll get pre-screened. We have bilingual staff that are always, available to help you all and kind of, supply the help that you need. And if we don't know the answers, then we'll definitely, look for them and have somebody and point you into the right direction.
Oh,
Because we're here about giving everybody the right resources, and obviously pointing you in the right direction where you might
mhm.
be able to get them.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. Um, and I have, like me personally, I've gone to like receive services there, and like I recommend for everybody that is watching that just needs like to that needs to access those resources. I recommend you guys to go for it. So thank you for that. And another question is, if someone does not have access to transportation, are there services that can help them receive your food?
Yeah, so we're very lucky to live in a county that's very supportive with all of people's needs. Like there's Meals on Wheels. There's also like a lot of these things that are going on with like Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff
Mhm.
like that. That are we're slowly starting to kind of figure out how we can kind of partner up and kind of be able to deliver food that we give out to the community members and stuff. But like I also mentioned, the odds of you living nearby a food distribution, are very big. So, the best bet that you can get is kind of like I said, to call the hotline, and just kind of like, ask if there's a site that might be nearby, or if you're redirected to a distribution site, for example, on Friday Fairgrounds, and you don't have transportation. This is a great way to kind of maybe door knock and meet some of your neighbors if you haven't, and just be like, hey, vamos a agarrar una bolsa de alimentos a, el banco de alimentos, o escuché de que están dando alimentos en los terrenos de la feria o allá en el boardwalk. Vamos. And that
Mhm.
can be a perfect way that, you can kind of just carpool and go to some of the, and come to our mass distribution sites that we're having, throughout the county, that are happening both in North County and South County.
Yeah. Or sometimes it could even be the other way around, like we have the transportation but our neighbors may not. So, let's just try to see if we can help each other out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And we give out, about 25 pounds worth of food. And I know I can't finish that all by myself, and
Yeah.
so, a good thing to do also is like, if you know that there's a neighbor in need that maybe might not have that transportation, when you come back with your bag of produce, give some of that, to your neighbor and say, look, you know, um, here are some oranges, here are some apples, here are some carrots. Enjoy
Yeah.
them as much as I will.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really good idea. I feel like, well, that's what like my family's been doing, and I feel like it makes you feel good inside too, like personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. No, of course.
And moving ahead, the question is, do you know how many people are picking up your food or like a data?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are roughly serving about 6,000 families a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so about 6,000
Wow.
families a week, depending on the month and depending on the weeks. That's about 55,000 people a month. So
Wow.
it's a lot of people that we're serving. Numbers have gone up a little bit because of all the, things that have happened with COVID and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's great, and that's something that we are here to do. Provide food for people. If they don't have CalFresh, we want to have them apply for CalFresh, first, and get them on CalFresh, and then, so that they can supplement their CalFresh with
Mm-hmm.
our services.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. And adding to that, do you know? Well, I think this is kind of like where we start adding like our our own personal tips. So this question is there any tips regarding food preservation?
Yeah. So, um, definitely, if a lot of the produce, majority of the produce that we give out is fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So it all, if you're not going to use it all up at the in one sitting, definitely, it's starting to become berry season. So with berries, there's always fun things that you can do with them when they're fresh, and you can always freeze them.
Mhm.
a lot of the vegetables too, you can freeze them, and whenever you're gonna make your caldo de pollo or your caldo de res, you can pull them out.
Mhm.
And so, or your cebollas or your jitomates, all that stuff you can just kind of freeze. The other thing, kind of too, is like, especially with all this stuff that's going on, we're recommending that, you wash your produce as well, and kind of,
Mhm.
keep it as fresh as you can, and, you know, um, keep it in, like, not warm, but, kind of like warm, what is it, room temperature, if not a little bit before room temperature, to kind of help preserve, your produce a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a lot that you can do with that. There's some other tips of just kind of Ziploc bags, or like, Tupperware too.
Mhm.
Just kind of like making sure that you're keeping all of your food fresh.
Yeah. Okay. And adding to that, is there any other tips you'd like to share with us? In general, or
Yeah, definitely. Well, once again, I'd reiterate that, if you don't have CalFresh, now is the perfect time, to call CalFresh. Call our number, and you'll get pre-screened, and let them know, hey, I want to, sign up for CalFresh. If you speak Spanish, awesome. Well, we have people that speak Spanish. I saw someone pinned here, the food bank, the foodbank.org. That's our website, that you can also check out information. Our Instagram is also full of, like, information as well that gets, in our Facebook page. And those are places that, people can reach out to us and kind of like write us a message, write us a, just kind of write us a comment, things like that, and we'll get back to you and with the answer. And like I said, if we don't have the answer, we'll find the answer, and we'll make sure that you get the answer. But that hotline, it's an amazing number, because it's a gateway, to get all the resources that you may need, and especially CalFresh. CalFresh right now is it's one of the biggest things that can keep a lot of people, from feeling food insecure.
mhm, yeah, and I realized that we're reaching this to we're to an end. I realized that this is probably like the closest I am ever gonna get to like thanking somebody that works for the Second Harvest Food Bank. So I really want to appreciate, you and the rest of the team, and, the volunteers. And, I know that the National Guard is out here too, helping us out. And, in behalf of FoodWhat and, me, I just really want to take the time to thank you, for, for everything that you guys are doing for us.
Yeah,
And
no, well, thank you so much. And, definitely after all this, happens, feel free to come to the food bank and get a tour. We're always giving tours, well, not right now because of all the, virus stuff that's going
yeah.
on. But, cuando se acabe todo, when everything finishes, feel free to come out and get a tour. Or, if you want to volunteer at one of our sites, feel free. You have you know the person that, you can contact myself, and we'll be able to kind of get you paired up with one of the food distributions. But thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for all the work that you all do. And, definitely, shout out to, our volunteers as well, that help us, because we wouldn't be able to do all the work that we do without them. So, thank you so much. And definitely thanks for having me.
Thank you, Josue, once again. And I left the number pinned. I'll save the live video if anybody wants to rewatch it and get the information. And if you want to wait like a minute or so just to try to see if anybody that's watching right now has any other questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Ask away.
And if not, then we'll just wrap it up. But thank you
Perfect.
so much once again.
Yeah, no, gracias a ti.
Yeah. So let's see if anybody has questions. Okay. So the question was, are more volunteers needed?
Yeah. So, right now, the volunteers that we are needing are for the Friday distributions. And you can sign up online at thefoodbank.org. You can check on volunteers, and then there's a list that you should be able to kind of navigate and sign up. The reason why we're not accepting a lot of volunteers right now is because we care, about the health of our volunteers, and we try to keep them as healthy as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so, unfortunately, we can't have a lot of volunteers at our warehouse and at the distribution sites for the safety of them and the safety of us. Right now, and the volunteers can help us by staying home and being safe. And once all of this happens, then definitely that's when we'll need the support from our volunteers again. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
really good question.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that is. So another question was: is there extra produce coming from farms? Will farms have more to give at this time?
Yeah, so we are very lucky to be living in the central coast, and we're very lucky to be surrounded by a lot of agriculture, and a lot of farms. So there's a lot of farms that are locally here that are always kind of giving us produce. Lakeside Organics, Driscoll's, starting to be strawberry season pretty soon, so we're going to be getting a lot of food, a lot of produce donated from them, and especially because all of this that's going on, we've been having a lot of other farms, that have been locally and also kind of a little bit out of the county that have been, willing and have been giving us produce as well. Also, a lot of the supermarkets as well. So, there's been a lot of support and a lot of love from the community, to kind of give back to the community in different ways. And, that's one big way that we've been able to keep our food stock and, be able to give to the community.
That's good. That's really good. Um, I've always said that when we all are united, there's not a better way you can do it. Are
Hmm.
united. Yeah. So that's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't think we got any other questions.
All right. Cool. Well, that's good. That means we did good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Josue, once again for your time. I know it must be busy for you right now, but thank you for taking your time once again.
Yeah, no,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you very much for having me, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, meet up soon and, collaborate.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
then, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.